All right, suicide for children from ages 10 to 17 has changed. It's tripled, okay? In the last 10 years, it's tripled. So that goes to shows that there's definitely something that's going on. So a lot of people will say that social media is one of the big reasons that you have this elevated suicide rate, because it's a little different now. Now, somebody might be getting bullied at their school or bullied in their neighborhood, but now with social media and how young people are very interactive with it, there's more people to bully them. So it went from maybe 10 people or 20 people to 100 people or 1,000 people. So the fact that the suicide rate within our children has tripled is definitely something that should concern us. That's a problem. Anytime that you have any beings, no matter what their ages are, committing suicide, it's a problem. It goes to show that something is disconnected, something is wrong, that something is plaguing our children. So, we definitely want this number to go down. It's sad that a number even exists, but the fact that it's tripled in the last 10 years makes it even worse. You know what I'm saying? So, just take a little time to talk to your kids, see what's going on with them. When we become teenagers and stuff like that, we go through an array of emotions, and sometimes we can be highly emotional and moody and stuff like that. And for those of us that try to be mindful of our children's emotions, we can kind of, want to step back and let them have their moment. But sometimes we don't need to step back. We need to step in. We need to talk to them and see, what's going on. Hey, I've noticed you've been a little sad. Is anything going on? Or, just get in a habit of talking to your children about what they went through at school. How was your day? Make it a habit to where it doesn't seem intrusive, but it seems like just a part of your everything, of your everyday thing. So you want to try to start this young. Just talk to them about school and different things, and sometimes they might not tell you, but you know what happened in school. Most of us have went to public schools and things like that, and we've been out there. So you always want to take a little bit of time to talk to your children about the experiences that you've been through and different scenarios and things like that, just to kind of help try to prepare them for the world and what's going on out there. It's a tough world out there. Anyone that has any age on them knows that life can be tough, man. And sometimes as you get older, it gets a little harder before it gets better. So, we want to prepare our children for that as children and how to deal with things as they become adults. So, just make sure you're talking to your kids, see how they doing. If they seem a little sad, talk to them and pick them up. There's nothing wrong with communication, and it's definitely nothing wrong with giving extra love and more love and just love, period, to our kids. They need that. We want to make them tough, especially a lot of times when it comes to our boys. We kind of tough on them, especially single mothers, because you just want them to be a little tough, and you want them to be able to take care of themselves. But remember, in teaching them that tough stuff, that you always, want to have love in there. So talking about that makes me think about something else that I've been seeing this on Facebook. It's a woman, a mother, that went up to a school after being called, and she went to the lunchroom and she got her son, and she proceeded to beat him with a belt. And as she beat him with this belt, and afterwards, she had a lot of harsh things to say. I'm sure anyone that's hearing the sound of my voice probably has seen this on Facebook or Instagram. And I have to say that when I was growing up, I was raised by my grandmother predominantly. And when I was growing up, the threat of her coming to my school with me acting up was real. She told me that she would. She told me that she would do the same things that this woman in this video did to her son if she ever got caught up there or came up there and popped up on me and see me, acting a fool. And I believed her, and I had that fear. So it definitely kept me in line in school in what I was doing. I think that, this is just my personal opinion. This isn't, for WMSK Online Radio opinion. But, the things that bother me about this video is how she spoke to her son. It was so just not okay in my book. You know what I mean? There's so many other words to say. There's so many other ways to convey what she was trying to say. So I feel like her mode of approach and how she spoke to him was absolutely outrageous, and it hurt my feelings. It made me really sad. You know what I mean? And it made me think that maybe, something that I noticed, that a lot of single mothers, if the father isn't around, they're very, very tough on their sons to a certain extent. You know what I mean? And it's like, I feel like they're not doing this because they're bad parents, or, they want to hurt their kids, but, they want their son to be a little tough. You know what I mean? So they talk to them tough, and they feel like, I'm a woman and my son might not respect me, so let me be a little tough on him. So the way she spoke to him, it absolutely broke my heart. If you've tuned into my other shows, there was a time I had talked about this woman that was talking to her son and trying to discipline him, and she called him a bitch. You know what I mean? And it broke my heart, like, that she talked to him, and it was like the way he responded was as if she always calls him that, and it made me really sad that she was making that his norm. So the way that she was speaking to her son, it really bothered me. I think she definitely could have said what she was trying to say in a better way, in a more positive way. I'm not against using corporal punishment to get children in line. I think that there's a certain way to do it. I think that it shouldn't be excessive. It shouldn't leave marks for days or weeks. I think that you should avoid hitting them in the face and things like that. You know what I mean? Um, it's a very thin line, because you have people out here trying to raise their children, and this mother, she wants her son to stay out of trouble. She doesn't want him to go to jail. She doesn't want him to get in trouble at school, and when they're trying to separate him from his class and treating him like he's a criminal. She's trying to keep him out of the school prison pipeline. You know what I mean? So I can understand her frustration and her passion, but I think that as adults and as guardians and parents, we just have to be mindful how we treat our kids, man. Like, most of us got good sense, yo, and we got to use it. Like, there's so much information, and there's so many different ways to approach our children now that we know of, that our grandparents or our great-grandmother might not have known, or even our mother. So we need to keep that in mind. You don't have to beat a child to get their attention. You can talk to them. There's different things that you can do. You know what I mean? It's a very thin line, and I think that we have to be careful. So the way that she spoke to her son, it devastated me. I noticed where she hit him. I wasn't particularly happy with everywhere that the belt struck, the shoulders and stuff like that. I'm not into that. I think that if you want to, punish your children in this way, that it should be mindful. You know what I mean? And I definitely don't think you should do it when you're angry. You know what I mean? I think you should sit down and think about what happened and decide what really the best course of action is. Sometimes when you're angry and you reach out to hit somebody, it can be stronger just because of your anger. So we just got to be a little mindful. You know what I'm saying? Just mindful of what we're doing and taking care of our kids and trying to set them up for success, and not give them, some behavioral health problems that they're going to have to work through in 10, 20 years, So just be mindful of what we're doing with our kids. That's all I'm saying. So we're about to go into some Throwback Thursday jams. I got a little Akon. I'm about to play Mother Africa first. I really like that song. That's one of my songs. I made my little sister like it. That's how much I played it. But that's one of my jams. We're going to play that. We're going to play some Big Daddy Kane. We're going to play some MC Light. And then I'm going to come back with some Delight. But before that, I'm going to pay a few bills. So after I play this music, I'm going to pay a few bills. And then you'll hear the sound of my voice again. So stick with me like I'm going to stick with you. I holla.